Welcome to this edition of Hunt Camp Mail for September 2020. It's been another month of positives and negatives. As you know, I had to cancel my Africa trip this summer due to COVID-19. I had some awesome hunts lined up in Zambia and Zimbabwe, as well as some tiger fishing on the Zambezi River. Well, hopefully I can bring you back to Africa with me next year, but it's not going to happen this year. Also, every national forest in my state is on fire right now, including 2 of the zones I plan to hunt this year. In fact, one of the areas I was scouting just a month and a half ago is now completely gone. Wiped out. They closed every national forest in the state to the public, which is something I'd never seen happen before in my lifetime. So deer hunting looks like it's also been canceled this year. And to add insult to injury, this screwed up state I live in isn't even going to refund us for our draw tags and isn't even going to give us our points back. How crappy is that? But on a positive note, the dove were around in decent numbers this season, and that provided some much needed hunting activity. I was jonesing to get out and hunt. I'm also about to do some scouting for quail season, and hopefully the quail population is healthy this year. But man, 2020 has been a complete and utter train wreck. The only thing worse that can happen this year is if Joe Biden somehow finds his way back into the White House again. But, we as freedom-loving sportsmen need to get out there, vote, and make sure that that doesn't happen. So enough of the politics and doom and gloom. Let's get to the mail for the month. Our first question of the month is from Joseph. Joseph stated that he noticed that Craig Boddington isn't a big proponent of lever guns, and he wanted to know how I feel about hunting with lever guns. Well, Joseph, this is my simple answer. Lever guns work, but they don't work as well as a bolt-action rifle does. I've shot numerous Idaho muleys with my 30-30, and it usually did the job to my satisfaction, but using a lever action limits yourself. Cartridges like the 30-30 and even the 45-70 will never achieve the ballistics and power levels of a real rifle cartridge. Also, bolt-action rifles seem to be more stronger, reliable, accurate, and ergonomic than a lever-action rifle. I really enjoy shooting lever guns. Just be mindful of the limitations and the fact that they're an inferior design to a bolt-action gun when using standard rifle cartridges. Will a lever gun kill animals? Yes, it will. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they're an inferior hunting platform compared to the bolt-action rifle. I also believe this answers Reggie's question about the 45-70 as well. And our second question is from Bucky from Oklahoma. That's right, Bucky from Oklahoma. Bucky asks, on your old channel, you did some upland hunting and tactical shotgun videos. I haven't seen any shotgun stuff from this channel in a couple years. Did you stop bird hunting? Have you parked your shotguns for good? First of all, Bucky, I love your freaking name. If your name really is Bucky, how could you not win friends and influence people? Bucky, in case you haven't noticed, I love your name. Anyway, back to the question. The short answer is yes, I still upland hunt and enjoy shotgunning. Now for the long answer. Videos of me actually out hunting or fishing, especially upland hunting, get very little views. But what I figured out this year, as my channel grows, is that how-to videos and cartridge videos and product reviews get much more interest than videos of me actually hunting or my fishing trips. Other YouTube creators have also started figuring this out, and many stopped wasting their time producing videos of their hunts that weren't going to get a lot of views. So my strategy now is to integrate my hunting experiences into how-to videos and product reviews. And let me tell you, Mr. Bucky from Oklahoma, I've also been bombarded with requests for more shotgun and wing shooting content on my channel. So I plan on bringing that back to you. You can see that I just recently posted a 20 gauge video and a beginner's guide to hunting doves video to kind of fill that void. But you can expect more of the same, especially since I plan to add point of view and even a shot cam to my wing shooting activities. So fear not, Bucky. I promise you that there's much more shotgun related content coming your way, including shotgun reviews. This should also answer Mike, Mirza, Tony, and several other questions along the same lines that I received this month. Our next question, and I got a lot of questions this month, a lot of mail this month, is from Farhad. And he asked, where did you get your hunting styles and clothes from? You always look cool out hunting. Also, why do you not wear camo clothes like most Americans do? That's camo clothes, not camel clothes. Well, first of all, I wear what's practical and comfortable. I have no intention of starting a wilderness fashion show. You know, if you like my style, it's probably just because I wear simple, plain, solid, earth tone clothes all the time. You know, something that most modern hunters have gone away from in favor of gaudy, ugly camo patterns and a lot of the wannabe tactical stuff. I basically have mild weather and cold weather clothes. You know, and my warm and mild weather clothing is just simple and cheap. Usually just $10, $15, $20 Cabela's shirts. You know, a lot of my hunting clothes are just Carhartt stuff I buy on sale at Tractor Supply Company. You know, the only time I actually spend real money on hunting clothes is for the cold weather stuff, because my life might actually depend on that gear. If you plan on hunting in freezing or freezing wet conditions, get the best clothing you can afford. You know, another area I don't scrimp on money is with hunting boots and socks. I mean, you really got to take care of those feet. Camo clothing, in my opinion, is for harvesting the wallets of hunters, not for harvesting deer. The reality is that deer, elk, pigs, and you know, a lot of other animals we hunt have bad eyesight compared to us. You know, they don't really care what you wear, only what you sound like and smell like. So be quiet, keep the wind in your face, and hunt in whatever damn clothes you want. The only time I believe camo really works is with turkey and waterfowl. You know, I laugh usually, especially the dove season opener, you'll see guys out there decked out in full-on, you know, American sniper ghillie suits out there hunting doves, and 50 yards away from them is a group of kids with their dad's shotguns out there with bright red 49ers shirts on and shorts out there just blasting away, putting down more doves than they are. So it's that's my thoughts on camo. Our next question is from Johan from South Africa. Johan wrote, I've been looking to buy my first hunting rifle for a while, and after watching your video on the Winchester Model 70, I bought myself a Winchester Model 70 Ultimate Shadow and 30-06. I'll be hunting plains game here in South Africa because I live in South Africa. Thank you for your great videos and the great help. Thank you for the kind words, Johan. I think you bought the perfect rifle chambered in the perfect cartridge for your South African plains game hunting. Congratulations, and I'm sure that rifle is going to bring you many years of enjoyment. The next question is from Andy. Andy wrote, I have a 375 H&H, which I'd like to put a scope on. what do you recommend for scope and rings? I generally use loop-holed scopes and would prefer quick detach rings. Any advice would be appreciated. Well, Andy, you know, just for the scope, a good quality, low magnification scope, like a 1:6, is perfect for dangerous game hunting, but you need to buy a quality scope because a lot of these dangerous game rifles, they recoil pretty hard and they tend to just absolutely destroy cheap scopes. Now, there's two brands of quick detachable rings that I like. I like the steel worn rings and the steel tally rings, but I'd highly recommend both. You know, you can't go wrong either way. They're both quality products made in the USA. Our next letter is from Dimitri in California. Dimitri asked, I drew tags for D11 and D14. I'm looking for somebody that can show me the ropes, including how to skin, gut, and quarter the game I harvest. Do you know of anyone or of any places I may have luck finding a hunting partner or mentor? Just need someone to help me show me the ropes so I can embark on this new adventure and chapter in my life. Well, Dimitri, that's, you know, kind of a tough question, but I'm going to try to answer it the best I can. What zones? Zones D11 and D14 are really tough hunts on public land. You know, although there is a lot of big private ranches in the area, especially in D11, that'll produce pretty good. But, you know, since you can also hunt on D13 with that tag, that zone has the best promise on public land, in my opinion. But with the fires raging across the state, who knows right now? But I really think you jumped the gun, Dimitri. As a new hunter, without any hunting buddies and with absolutely no experience, you probably shouldn't have entered draw tags. I can almost guarantee you that with no knowledge of hunting, you'll probably strike out on public land. For a new hunter with no hunting buddies or no hunting experience, you should have booked a private land hunt with a guide in one of the general hunting zones and have your guide show you the ropes. You know, for an older guy just starting, that would have been the best path for success in learning, in my opinion. You know, a good guide can do much more than just find you a deer or give you good access to private properties. He could teach you what he does every step of the way so you can learn. The next question is from Thomas in Belgium. Thomas asked if I have ever used the European round nose lead-free bullets like the Exergy bullet, and he thanked me for doing a video on the USA versus Euro hunting culture. That video was actually his idea. You know, I haven't tried those bullets yet, Thomas, but the Exergy type bullets, they do really fascinate me. On my last trip to Africa, a hunter was showing me some of his, I think they're called TXRG blue bullets, something like that, that he was using on plains game, and he put all of his trophies in the salt, so they seem to work pretty good. And that bullet is just now hitting the United States, and hopefully soon American reloaders will have access to it, but we don't currently, at least I don't. I'll definitely give them a shot, no pun intended, when I can get my hands on them. But I also want to thank you again for the USA versus Euro hunting culture video idea. You know, that was a really fun video to put together, and it seems pretty popular on my channel too. Our next letter is from Paul. Paul wrote, Desert Dog, I'd like to see a history and review of the 375 H&H, kind of like the one you did for the 300 H&H. Man, another month with a bunch of requests for a 375 H&H video. You know, I definitely plan to do a 375 H&H video. You know, as a matter of fact, my wife is going to use her 375 on a trip to Africa this summer for everything. And much of that video was going to be, much of my 375 H&H video was going to follow along with her hunting with that rifle. But, that trip got canceled, so I kind of shelved that video idea. But who knows, I have extensive experience loading and hunting with the 375 Holland & Holland, so I might just do a video anyways, especially with all of the interest shown in that. Our next question is from Andre from South Africa. Andre stated, I'd never been to the USA, but plan a trip, God willing, in the near future once all this pandemic stuff blows over. Anyways, this was just a short intro into my world, and I want to congratulate you on a very good series of videos. Knowing Africa and the hunting here, I can only comment that your information is very accurate and always entertaining. Absolutely love your no-nonsense, say it as it is, take on things that you love. You might know this, but it's exactly how us hunting guys over here deal with issues too. Abso-freaking-lutely. Afrikaners, along with Aussies and Italians, tell it like it is without being offended by everything. And I love your culture for that. Political correctness and fake outrage are killing our society. And in my opinion, a politically correct society is a dishonest and fearful society. People who can speak directly and honestly with each other and even laugh about themselves and their own faults really have my respect. Our next question is from Mirza from Bangladesh. Mirza wrote, please make a video about gas guns versus inertia guns, 3-inch versus 3.5-inch cartridges. I think people would also love this a lot. We go, another shotgun request. I just might make a video about that, Mirza. I have extensive experience with Browning, Benelli, and Franke inertia guns, and with Beretta, Remington, Mossberg, and Winchester gas guns. And, in short, 3.5-inch shotguns don't cycle lighter loads very reliably in my experience. And with modern advancements in shotgun loads, the 3.5-inch shell is pretty unnecessary and almost obsolete in my opinion, even for duck, geese, and turkey hunting. A regular 3-inch gun is much more versatile, lighter, and reliable. So why not just stay with a 3-inch gun? On the gas versus inertia debate, I enjoy shooting both. My go-to waterfowl and turkey gun is a Benelli M2 inertia gun, which that gun will happily eat any waterfowl or turkey load without a hiccup in any conditions too. My go-to Upland guns are all 20 gauge gas guns because they cycle the lighter loads more reliably. They're lighter and they're much smoother shooters as well. I believe that Benelli is the king of the inertia gun and Beretta is the king of the gas gun. I hope that answered your question. Our next question is from Kevin from, it's Glenn. Glenn from Florida. Sorry about that. Glenn asks, I know you fish Florida saltwater frequently, but have you ever fished freshwater here? We have the best saltwater and freshwater fishery, but our freshwater goes unnoticed. Well, it doesn't really go unnoticed by me. I know you guys have a great all-around fishery over there in Florida. Many years ago, I'd planned a fishing trip through the Keys, and that kind of got canceled because just as I landed in Fort Lauderdale, a tropical storm came through, and all of my fishing guides canceled out, and it just turned into a big mess. So I ended up hanging around the Miami area for a while, and I ended up hiring a guy who took me out fishing the canals around Miami for peacock bass in a small aluminum boat. And I had one of the greatest times out fishing I ever had on that trip. That's kind of a hidden fishery within a hidden fishery. You also live in the largemouth bass capital of the world. Florida truly is a fishing paradise in almost every part of the state. And that hasn't gone unnoticed by me. Our next question is from Kevin from Arizona. Kevin asks, Desert Dog, what do you feel is the most important factor in picking a shotgun for upland hunting? Another shotgun question. Kevin, a shotgun, actually the way a shotgun fits should be the real deal breaker when selecting a shotgun. And everybody's different. Actually find that a lot of American shotguns, fail in the fit category. I have a shorter face, so the high sightline guns like the Humpback A5 and some of the high rail guns don't really fit me well. But the lower sided Beretta field guns fit me perfectly. Like I said, everyone is different. So never ever buy a shotgun without handling it and pointing it first, because in my mind, the first thing you should look at and the real deal breaker with buying a shotgun is how it fits. Secondary to that, you can look at reliability, customer service, things like that, but fit should always come first. Our next question is from Franklin from Washington. Franklin asked, I noticed that you seem annoyed with certain types of hunters in many of your videos and in the comments under your videos. Like how you don't like hunters that shoot long distances, or when guys put rifles over their shoulders. I also notice that you take down some of their comments. We're all hunters, so why do some hunters annoy you so much? Not being mean, just curious. Regards, Franklin. Well, I wasn't really going to answer this question on Hunt Camp Mail video because I really didn't want to turn off any of my viewers. But, in the spirit of being open and keeping things real and addressing issues head on, I'm going to go ahead and answer this for you. To tell you the truth, Franklin, people in general really annoy me. If I was stuck spending all my time with my wife and my dogs, I'd be perfectly content, to tell you the truth. But to answer your question, there's several types in the hunting community that tend to annoy me in regards to running a YouTube channel. The first type of hunters that I can't stand are those that go into my comment section bragging about their 800-yard shots on animals, or piling up piles of animal carcasses, and many of them, in my opinion, are a horrible reflection on the hunting community as a whole. And, I deleted a comment yesterday from some fool that claimed he went out and killed 300 squirrels and threw their bodies in a river for the catfish to eat just because he hates squirrels. I delete crap like that every day, Yesterday, I deleted another comment, and I seem to get this type of comment, actually almost worded exactly the same, but I get this comment maybe every few days. It's the old wives' tale that nothing has killed more deer in America than the 22 long rifle. That's what you should be using. That comment is complete horseshit. And folks like these are unethical, and there's really no way to sugarcoat their ignorance of that fact. So I'm not going to, if they're that stupid already, I'm not going to argue with them. I just delete their comment and move on. The next bunch that annoy me are what myself and a lot of other YouTube creators call the 270 bots. Yeah, that's right, 270 bots. Every hunting or firearm related video you post on YouTube will be inundated with trolls posting, the 270 is better. It's like they troll YouTube in search of videos about other cartridges so they can post, the 270 is better. You know, I really personally like the 270 cartridge. I think it's one of the most well-rounded deer cartridges ever produced. I really like it, but I have to wonder if most of the people using it might have mental issues. I mean, I've talked to several other YouTube creators that even run, you know, big high-volume YouTube hunting channels, and they have the same issue with the 270 bots. You know, even on my 20 gauge video that I posted last week, a guy posted that he shoots geese in the head with this 270. You know, I'm really convinced that 270 and 4570 people are part of some internet troll cult or something, because I'd never seen anything like it. And the last bunch of viewers that annoy me are the ones that constantly insist that I'm advertising for paid sponsors. I mean, I get this constantly. I got sick of answering these people, and the same people would just keep reposting. You're paid to say that, Desert Dog. Winchester pays you. Barnes pays you. Nosler pays you. And, you know, I'll let everyone know again, I do not have one sponsor. Nobody gives me any free crap or pays me a dime. I do this all on my own. You know, I really try to tell it like it is. You know, for instance, I love the Model 70. Everybody knows that. But I think Winchester's SX4 shotgun is a piece of crap. So I wouldn't last long as a Winchester spokesman. You know, I think the Benelli M2 is probably the greatest semi-auto shotgun ever made for hunting. But I also think that the Benelli Super Black Eagle 3 is an overpriced piece of junk. You know, I love Barnes bullets, but I did a video about the poor quality of their commercial ammunition. You know, trust me, I have no brand loyalty or paid sponsors. You had to excuse me for a second. After that last answer, I needed a little bit of help from Mr. Walker. Let's get back to mail here. Our next question is from Gene from Georgia. Gene wrote, I am wanting to take advantage of hunting in Africa. With my job as a professional pilot, I do quite a bit of training in Africa, and my question is, I'm looking for a rifle that will serve me very well hunting hogs in Georgia, which is where I live, and whitetails to plains game animals, and possibly even dangerous game. What I've come up with so far is the 375 H&H. Well, that's a great question. You know, the 375 H&H is probably the best all-around rifle for what you described, but my voice of reason has to question why you would limit yourself to one rifle. You know, your rifle will travel in a hard-sided case on all of your flights, so why not just put two rifles in one hard-sided case? You know, really, traveling with two rifles in the same case is no harder than traveling with one rifle. You know, this would allow you to have a good deer, pig, plains game rifle, you know, something like a 30-06 or a 7mm, but also have a hard-hitting, dangerous game rifle like a 375 or a 416. You know, there's no need for you to limit yourself to one rifle, and you'd be doing yourself a disservice to do so, in my opinion. And the next question is from Lou from Canada. Lou asked, greetings, Desert Dog. I hope all is well. What is the best tasting big game animal you've ever hunted? I'm always looking to try new things. Well, that's an awesome question, Lou, and probably going to have to think on that for a second. You know, I really love me some elk and eland steaks, but probably the best tasting big game animal, in my opinion, has got to be the axis deer. You know, I'm a real venison lover, and axis backstraps are some of the most tender and flavorful venison you'll ever try. You know, and it's never gamey tasting, no matter where you shoot them at. You know, I really think the axis deer are probably the tastiest mammals on earth. And our last question of the month is from Neil from Hong Kong. Neil wrote, I just moved to California from Hong Kong, where I lived for the last 17 years. I'm originally from South Africa and did a lot of hunting and fishing there. I've literally been in California for 4 days, and I want to get back into hunting and fishing. Could you please point me in the right direction? Where do you buy your rifles, ammo, and hunting gear? Where can I find a shooting range locally? What are the hunting and fishing laws in California? And can you go to a friend's farm here and shoot pigs or game, or do you need a permit for certain animals? Well, Neil, welcome to the Socialist Republic of California, otherwise known as California. The only good things about California is that we have huge amounts of public land to hunt and fish on, free Wi-Fi is everywhere, and the weather's pretty decent. You know, I don't know what city you're from or what city you're currently living in, but just Google the name of your city, followed by the word gun store or gun range, and you'll find lots of options for buying rifles, ammo, and hunting gear. You know, in California, also there's a 10-day wait after you purchase your rifle before you can go pick it up. You know, since you're not a U.S. citizen yet, you've only been here for 4 days, you'll have to have a legal I-94 card in order to purchase a gun. Shooting ranges are absolutely everywhere in California, you know, or you could find a safe place to shoot out in the National Forest or Bureau of Land Management areas, you know, out in the desert, you know, and go out and set up targets and shoot on your own. For hunting and fishing laws, go to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife website at wildlife.ca.gov. That's wildlife.ca.gov. To get your hunting license in California, you'll need a state-approved you'll need to take a state-approved hunter safety course and pass an exam to get your license. And lastly, you can shoot pigs on your friend's farm here in California. I do it every year, but you need a hunting license and a pig tag to do so. You know, unlike South Africa, you know, where you were born, landowners do not own wildlife on their land here in America. The public does. So you always need a hunting license and tag to hunt. So that wraps up this month's edition of Hunt Camp Mail. Thank you for everyone who reached out to me in September and for the growing support that my channel's starting to get. In addition to the questions I received, I also want to thank Brent from Utah, Andrew from Australia, Larry, Reggie, Ulysses, Mike, Doug from Iowa, Sean from Ireland, and Javier from San Diego for your well wishes and kind words. Your input is really driving the direction of this channel, and I try to do things and provide content that nobody else does. I've gotten an enormous number of requests lately for shotgun related content, so I plan to provide more of that in the future. And I'll also endeavor to keep my opening monologues on the shorter side in my videos. Had a lot of feedback on that also. And once again, you can contact me at desertdogoutdoors@gmail.com. That's desertdogoutdoors@gmail.com. Well, thank you for supporting my channel and watching this video. And as always, good hunting.